Today's episode feels a little different. Not because it's episode 200, and not because Chef Elijah Rock is back in the studio. It's because almost exactly 1 year ago, Elijah sat in the same chair. At the time, Bricks was still finding its footing. He was a new father, a restaurant owner, trying to build something meaningful. And like a lot of people in hospitality, he was carrying the belief that if he just worked hard enough, he could hold everything together himself. A year later, a lot has changed. The restaurant has evolved, the team has evolved, his daughter just turned 1. And somewhere along the way, the lessons stopped being about cooking. They became lessons about trust, about leadership, about letting go of control, about understanding that success isn't always what it looks like from the outside. Because the truth is, guests see the finished plate, they see the dining room, they see the smiles. They don't see the pressure, they don't see the sacrifices. They don't see the moments you miss while you're trying to build something that lasts. As Walk and Talk Media reaches episode 200, it felt fitting to spend it with someone who's been part of the journey before. Not to talk about what he's built, but to talk about what building it has done to him. Chef Elijah Rock, welcome back to Walk and Talk. Chef, episode 200, you're here for it. It's special to us. Glad you're here. Welcome back.
I'm really happy to be here, guys. Nice to see you again.
My man, you came with the goods today. Whenever somebody shows up here with a Branzino or Wagyu, I'm pretty happy. You brought both.
Yes, I did. I was very happy to bring it for you guys.
Today was gluttonous, and I'm happy for it. Makes me smile, especially for this, the 200th freaking episode. It is today. It is now. Hats off to everybody, man. Congratulations, John.
Woo woo.
All right. All in all, just a great day. New camera. I got the John. This is our first time using it in studio. I got the Nikon ZR, which is a red hybrid, freaking badass rig. I'm loving it, dude. You did a great job today.
Thank you very much.
Enough about the small talk about my cameras and what we're doing over here. Let's jump into the food. Dish 1, Branzino. Talk about it.
So the Branzino, that's a dish that we have on our menu right now. It's been really nice to feature that in our restaurant. It's one of the first fish that I learned how to cook in one of the first restaurants that I worked at. It was a Turkish style restaurant, so they always did it with a salad and some roasted eggplant. And I kind of wanted to bring that back to life, but put my own spin on it. It's summertime, so the herb salad with the radishes is going to kind of a cooling effect, and with the potatoes, it's a very light dish, but it is also a great entree.
It sounds simple, but the truth is, the flavor profiles were there, and you had the crunch, and you had all these things going on. Of course, you have the seared skin, right? Gotta have that. You made me happy today.
I'm happy I can make you happy, man.
A true story. Like, sincerely, I've been following you for a long time on socials. Yes, you were here last year. And I've been following your progression. And the dishes that you've been putting out are really beautiful. And I was hoping that you were going to come here with that same energy. And you did. Both dishes are fire. The colors, beautiful stuff. I was watching John shoot the pictures and just wow. He has editing to do still, but these things are going to be stupid, fire, beautiful photography, man. You did great today, sincerely. Talk about that. Talk about that Wagyu.
Yeah, so the Wagyu, that's a Japanese A5 Wagyu. We get it imported from Japan. It comes in a big block, and we cut it all up into our portions. We render all the fat for cooking with later. That Wagyu, we feature that on our chef's tastings, and you can also buy it a la carte for a certain price. But it's very popular. People love it. We only cook it blue rare or raw if we're doing sashimi style. The makeup of that plate changes quite a bit, usually a couple times a week. But today we did confit potatoes, so that was confit in the Wagyu fat that we had. We had black garlic, so fermented garlic, pickled mustard seeds, and a peach chili glaze.
Slutty cheeseburgers or the Wagyu? What are you choosing?
Oh, it depends on the time of day, I guess. If it's 1 in the morning, I'm going with a cheeseburger, man. I don't think I have the time or the energy to cook a Wagyu or even appreciate it at that time.
I think you're right. And it's funny because you can eat, well, your eyes might pull you to that Wagyu every time. But then you're like, man, my body just says, I gotta pump the brakes. I have to pause. It's so rich.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. With that said, I mean, I can pound cheeseburgers every day.
Yeah, I think I could too, but I mean, I really try not to.
Well, I just lost 25 pounds.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
I think I might have gained 20 pounds less since the last time I was here.
Well, it's been a year and you were sitting in that same chair. Something happened over this year. You must have changed somehow between then and now.
Oh, yeah, man. My priorities have changed quite a bit. So, our daughter just turned 1. So family has really become number one. I didn't think that it would change me as much as it really did. And like my priorities are totally different now. I take my health more seriously. I had a little bit of a scare last year, like pretty close to right when we took over ownership of the restaurant. I ended up in the hospital for about a week. My blood pressure was out of control. I was smoking cigarettes, probably drinking too much, and it was not a good time. I was there for a week, catheter, the whole thing. I will never do that again. Last day I smoked cigarettes, started eating better. I try to eat better, but I really want to be there for my family. So my priorities have definitely changed.
Would you say that vices is something that you had to let go in order to gain control of family, of, restaurant ownership?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, smoking is the biggest one. If you're listening and you smoke cigarettes, just stop. It's a terrible habit. It's a bad thing to do. And I'm only 36, man. And I was in that hospital room. Everyone else was in their late 80s, early 90s. They were kind of treating me a little bit different because I was so young in there. And I was going through the same problems that people have at the end of their life. And it was not a great feeling. So I don't want to go through that again.
I thought you were 57, but then I
No.
realized, hey man, you know what? You own a restaurant,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, a lot of people in the industry deal with, I don't want to say just substance abuse, but it's just, we don't take care of ourselves. And, that might mean cigarettes. That may mean I put down a little bit too much alcohol than I should, plus the 70, 80, 90 hours a week. That's a lot on the body. When you're in your 30s, mid 30s plus, and you have babies and you have, well, I just bought a restaurant, first time, restaurateur, all of these things, it's major pressure.
Yeah.
And these are outlets. If you don't control that, I mean, I've seen plenty of people just lose everything.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. I mean, you gotta take your health seriously. When you have something happen, that was on the way to the emergency room. I was at work. Smoking cigarettes was always a thing that I did. That was the only time you ever really got a break in a restaurant. So that I did that. I became addicted, and I didn't really think it was ever going to be a problem. And when it was a problem, I was going to deal with it. And it happened when I was 35 years old.
Was it like did you have like your blood pressure was high?
Yeah, it was really high. It was like where they thought that I should have had a stroke or a heart attack already.
How's your cholesterol? I'm just curious. Like,
Everything is good now, so I have to take medication for the rest of my life. There's no going around it. I was supposed to be taking it years ago, and I stopped doing it because it made me slow in my head, and I'd slur my speech, and I just didn't like the way it made me feel. So now we've corrected that. I'm back on track, and no more smoking. And the biggest thing was when you feel like you're really stressed out, just in your own mind, just slow down. That's it. And like learn to trust your team, depend on them a little bit more.
so how are you feeling now? Like physically, mentally, like you feel like all cylinders are firing?
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel great. Quitting smoking was, one of the best things that I've ever had to do.
Well, it's interesting because, when a guest comes into the restaurant and they're enjoying their meal, the atmosphere and whatnot, they see the other people smiling, they see all this stuff, but they don't see the pressure that goes on behind the wall. Whether that's for the servers, the kitchen staff, the owners of the owners of this restaurant. What are some of those things that people don't actually see or aren't aware of? This episode is brought to you by Trimark, the largest food service design, equipment, and supplies provider in North America. Trimark works directly with operators, bringing design build expertise, supply sourcing strength, project management, installation, and servicing together to power smarter hospitality kitchens. Learn more at trimarkusa.com.
Cooking in a professional restaurant is not a normal job. The guests, they don't see the grind to make the next dish, all the work that goes into it outside of the kitchen. They don't see the constant adjustment to, control your labor or your food costs. They don't see the sacrifices that we have to make to put the food on tables for them.
What's the average margin right now?
Of our food cost?
Uh-huh.
I run 25.
20, that's really healthy.
Yes, it's very good.
Especially for this type of stuff you're putting out.
It's we have a really talented team, so we don't waste a lot. If we get an animal, we're going to use everything that we possibly can.
There's a lot of work that goes into making less than 10% on your money.
Yes, there is.
You said that if you're in a bad mood, the kitchen actually feels it. People can sense it. When did you realize that you were being watched?
I realized that, I realized that before I was the owner, when I was the chef there, if I was getting angry about something, I would notice that the servers would leave the kitchen where they like to congregate and gossip, whatever they're doing. When they would see me starting to get angry, they would leave. I noticed that pretty quickly. I'm a pretty easygoing person, but I do get angry sometimes. I care so much about the guest experience and the flow of service. And if somebody messes that up, then we're going to have a problem. I don't mind correcting people to keep the standard where we need it to be. But the anger and the throwing of pans in the kitchen, that's not something that you see in our restaurant. And those types of attitudes are contagious.
So what you're saying is you're not stepping into the shoes of Chef Renzevi.
No, but I think everyone has a temper when you have all the stresses of everything, and you see people maybe not working as hard as they should be, or
when you own something, either when you own it or the closer to the top you are, where you feel ownership, and you see people and you recognize they don't care like you do. They don't care really much at all. Or if they do, it's such a small percentage. That is the most frustrating thing ever. So when you're trying to, in our case, in the case of restaurants, you're trying to get through shift and you just see the failures or the dead spots. The frustration is real and the anger is real. And, the truth is, it's your dollars that are making this business move. Everybody has to put in their efforts, of course. And those should be, that's a whole nother conversation. People should be compensated, whatever. But the reality is, they didn't take any risks. You got all the risks. Man, all you want is somebody to recognize that and do right by the restaurant. Just do good. Support for Walk and Talk Media comes from Metro Food Service Solutions, trusted by kitchens that need storage and workflow that actually does the job. Learn more at metro.com.
Yeah, and we have a great team. We don't deal with those things often, but it does happen. I get frustrated if a guest doesn't like their dish. That's something that I have to work on personally, because maybe they just don't see the vision. They don't have the same taste buds as me, and that's totally fine. But sometimes in the moment, I spiral.
What's the difference between managing people and building leaders? Because, in your space, actually in today's world, you don't see a lot of just straight leaders coming out. I think you need to be a little bit more selective, find the diamond in the rough, and then we bring them up somehow.
I think that's something that every occupation is struggling with. But managing people and building leaders, that they're similar, but it's not the same thing. Managers focus on getting today's work done correctly. A leader is someone who can lead by example so that you don't have to be present to get everything done.
That's so true. And then here's the thing. Most other industries aren't run by kids. And in the food world, I mean, you have teenagers as management sometimes. I mean, it's crazy. That's where historically you would find the person that you would mentor, that you would say, wow, that kid is good. And you bring him up. I think that's happening less. That was my experience. That's what I've seen. And I know that there's great people out there. I don't want to hear any, craziness. Phones, it's in our hand. And it just takes all of our attention away from focusing on something to make ourselves better, typically.
Yeah.
And that's what we're fighting with.
Yeah. I think people like the instant gratification of the way that they feel when they can get a like, and then they see other people doing it and making money off of it, and they think that they can do the same thing. And I think that you could, but chances are you probably won't.
Oh, no, it's 100%. Listen, there's what I've noticed in our sphere, in this food space, obviously there's no shortage of people with, cameras or their cell phones or microphones. And there's a lot of people coming through with podcasts now that didn't have them before. Good luck. Good luck. Not everybody's going to get to 200, 300, 400 episodes. It just doesn't exist. The truth is, most podcasts after episode 3 disappear because they see, wow, how do I hold this conversation? How am I talking to somebody? How do I do this week in, week out? The editing, oh my God, it doesn't end. It's heavy.
Yeah, I bet.
It's fun. Don't get me wrong. This is the life, man. This is really awesome stuff. But it ain't easy.
Yeah, man. I mean, it sounds, I didn't know that about 3 episodes. That's pretty mind blowing. I mean, you guys know your stuff though. You know food, like you guys got it down, man. You guys have a great show.
Well, thank you. But it's not about us. Truthfully, like, it's not about me. It isn't about John or our knowledge points or Pooch or anybody. It's about you. It's about the guest that comes through, and you and your story. That's the focus. We're here with supporting propulsion, if you will. We're really blessed to be in a space where we have a hospitality platform that people in the business pay attention to.
I think it's because you guys kind of run it like a restaurant. I say the same thing. It's not about me and my ego. It's about the guests that are coming in. I see this thing, this trophy sitting over here. It says the Walk and Talk Podcast Business Podcast Series Award. What's that all about?
Coolest thing ever. And that's the other thing. Hardly anybody gets, I don't want to say hardly anybody, but it's a rarity to be in a space or a place that you're getting recognized by peers. This is a communicator award. It's a 32-year running award ceremony, and they have third-party people from business. It's not just about podcasts or food. It's everything. So we were like super, super blessed to get selected for this. And I understand that there's 3,000 to 4,000 nominations a year. So there are others who get the award of distinction, but there's not many, and there's so many that they're looking at. So this is a big deal for us.
Yeah,
This is a huge deal. I feel like getting that out, putting it on a chain and wearing it on my neck.
yeah, it's definitely something you should be proud of.
What was it, John? The Miami with the Canes. What was it?
The turnover chain.
The turnover chain. Yeah, it's very like the turnover chain with the all of these things matter.
Yes, they do.
Because when you're, and to bring this back, and the reason why I guess you brought this up is because we're talking about how you asked the question of, 3, I didn't know. 3 episodes in and you're out. That's what it is. That's the norm because it's so difficult. And that's why upwards of half the restaurants that open are closed within 5 years. So as far as I'm looking at it, all of this is apropos. All of this is connected, man. And, call it divine guidance, call it luck, call it what you want. It's the work. and execution and doing good. That's what counts. Restaurants, media, whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, we gotta stick together, you know. The corporate restaurant world is creeping in, man. You've seen it creeping in, but there are great restaurants, great local chefs, you know, podcasters like yourself that really care, and you shine a light on us, and that like I'll be forever grateful for, you know, given this opportunity to come and share my story and our restaurant and our team and everything else.
Well, you do a great job, man. And that's what we like to focus on. Hard workers, great product. Like you have a terrific personalities with chefs. And having chefs return here is probably the biggest thing. A lot of talented folks come through. We don't always bring them back. And that's typically because, you know, a lot of times it's because they're personality types. And we just, you know, hey, it was great. Move on. Find the next. But you know what, man, you fit our profile, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
So what's keeping you up at 3 a.m., man? I know I have stuff. You must.
Yeah, man. Definitely the keeping the restaurant going. I mean, it is hard. You know, we're in business, we're doing well, but we can't fail. If that restaurant fails, then we fail. I don't want to think about that. I don't even know what we would do. It's not like I can just go out and get another job. You know, I have a lot of money tied up into this. I'm not in the position to switch careers or even go to a new restaurant. I don't even really like to think about it. So keeping me up at night is just knowing that I'm going to be doing the best that I can to be a good father. And I really try not to think about the restaurant too much. We have a great team. I need this restaurant to be successful for my sake and for the employees, because we cannot do it without all of their hard work.
You know, I guess one of the other things that keep you awake might be your 1-year-old. Fatherhood changes the equation. Walk and Talk Media is proudly supported by Rack Porcelain USA, creating durable, beautifully designed tableware for chefs and hospitality professionals. Learn more at rackporcelain.com. Not only do you lose yourself with a business, you lose parts of yourself when you have children.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely a lot softer than I was, if you could even imagine that. I mean, she just melts my heart every day. She sleeps really good though. She's in bed and she's out until 7:38 in the morning. So we're pretty blessed with that.
You dirty. Yeah,
I
that's
know.
not my kids. Oh my God. You know, my daughter, she's 10 now, but she's up until the wee hours on the weekend. And I'm trying to tell her, like, no, nothing good happens. Like, I need you to not get used to this. This is not, Daddy does not allow this. My son loves to sleep though. He's good, man. He goes to bed early. He's like, he could be watching TV, and then all of a sudden he's like, Daddy, I'm going to bed. Okay, dude,
Wow.
peace. Yeah, man. Have a good night.
I wish I could do that, man. But no, our daughter goes to bed and she's out.
You said you try not to miss moments, and I can appreciate that, man. I've missed a lot of moments with my kids just based on the sort of work I did prior to media. Was there something specific on your side that made you realize that, hey, man, I got to reprioritize here?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot. I always try to keep family first, but like the biggest thing, especially since becoming a father, was our daughter's first birthday. We had family visiting from out of town, you know, grandparents, aunts, uncles, people that we don't see, you know, very often at all. Her birthday, we had her birthday party on a day set where no one was working. You know, it was on a Sunday, so we were all off. But her real birthday was on like a Wednesday or Thursday or something. It's one of those days where I would usually be at work for about 10 to 12 hours. It was really important that we took that time off and just spent the day with her. You know, we had her party, and then a few days later, we didn't go to work. We took her to the aquarium, and she absolutely loved it. And like those are the times that you won't be able to get back. I could look back if I had gone to work on her first birthday and I would have always remembered that I went to work on her birthday, I wouldn't remember what the sales were. I wouldn't remember what specials I sold. I wouldn't remember what the Wagyu dish was that day. But I will always remember taking her to the aquarium on her first birthday.
Amen. No, really, amen to that.
Yeah.
Do you want your daughter growing up in this industry? And if so, does she start working with you at the restaurant? And let's just say 10 years from now, when she's old enough to kind of understand all of this, what do you hope that she actually sees or takes from it?
I think that if she would like to work in the hospitality industry, I think that would be, it's a great career. It's been rewarding for me. So if she wanted to do it, I'd be all in. I'd have her in there. I'd show her what I know, and then hopefully she can take that to whatever she wants to do. But if she does, yeah, she actually spends a lot of time in the restaurant already, but right now she does not like it. It's not fun for her. The best part is when she gets to go into the kitchen and she can look at all the cooks, and we're all big guys, and it's kind of funny to her, I think.
I remember my father had a sub shop, and there was this guy, Bill, and he was the cook, and he used to make the best cheeseburgers ever. This is back in like the early 80s. And there would be a line out of the front, around the corner to get wings of the burgers. Support for Walk and Talk Media comes from Crab Island Seafood Dip, creating chef-driven crab dips made with real seafood and bold flavor. Learn more at crabislandsseafooddip.com. Awesome stuff. But I remember being about 8 years old and looking at the the kitchen and the grill and the people working on the line, and I was just like, wow, man, that's crazy stuff. Like, I thought it was crazy that they were doing that because it was hot, and
I think you do have to be a little bit crazy.
No, you have to be insane. This is insanity. This is unlike anything else ever, man. I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's pretty amazing how I kind of fell into it still. Just coming from some family that was, had ties to the business and whatever. I don't know that I want my daughter working in this industry, because I know what happens in this industry. With that said, if I have to think that, okay, if we do a good job raising them right, they're going to avoid most of the pitfalls. But I think everybody should do it for a year. I think every person on earth should go wait tables for a year or go work in a kitchen or something like that, just to feel that pressure.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Hungry people and sick people are the two most difficult parties to do work for any capacity. I worked in hospitals, and I did my share of restaurants and food service stuff. And they're both the same. Angry. People are angry when they're hungry, and people are angry when they're sick. It's the truth. The restaurant life, man. Being a restaurateur, there's lessons.
Yes.
Is there such a lesson that you fought hard against that in the end you realized, man, that was true?
Some of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that we have to pay very close attention to every aspect of the business. It's not just paying attention to food, labor cost, or just the plates that you're making. It's every little thing, all those little taxes, the credit card taxes, the rent that's due the first of every month. You don't always think about those little expenses.
I think we're all dumb to go off and open our own business. I think it's the best thing ever. Don't get me wrong. I just think that when you walk into it, you're like, eyes are glazed over. It's almost like getting married. You don't know what it's going to be. You're like, oh, it's going to be great. And all of a sudden, now it's not. And then you're like, oh, it's great again. It's crazy. You have to, I think it's akin to being stranded on an island, and to escape, you have to build a raft and then get past the breakers without the raft getting destroyed. And once you do that, you're just like, oh man, you know what? Smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, until there's like a typhoon and whatever, you sink and drown. No, but seriously, like you have to weather that initial like hardship of it all.
Yeah.
Relationships, restaurants, all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Go in with an open slate, man. Yeah. It's really important for us in the kitchen that we break everything down at night. So all you see is stainless. So every day that you come in, it's a new day. You know, we only prep for that one day. If it's, what's today? Wednesday, Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
It's Thursday. So I'm not in the kitchen, but my sous chef is making sure that everyone's just prepping for today so that tomorrow when we come in, it's fresh. And the only thing I ask of them is to do just a little bit better than what they did the day before.
This session of Walk and Talk Media is made possible by Citrus America, delivering fresh Florida citrus and juice solutions to food service professionals nationwide. Learn more at citrusamerica.com.
So here's the cliche question, right? If the Elijah sitting here today sat down with Elijah from last year, what is it? What do you tell each other? What do you tell him?
Slow down, man. Just take it easy. You know that it's gonna, you know that everything's gonna come out fine. We have a great team behind us. You don't have to try to do everything by yourself. And don't forget to take care of yourself as well.
All right, so you're making it to the 200th episode celebration at Tampa Club on Monday, right?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
You better not miss it.
I'm not gonna.
I mean, you were freaking episode 200.
I've already got a babysitter. All right. That's how ready I am.
All right. Hell yeah. This is episode 200 of Walk and Talk. When you're thinking about legacy and not restaurants and not menus and not awards, literally, but legacy, what is your idea of building something that lasts?
So that was a hard question for me. So I had to write it down, and I'm going to read it for you guys. Building something that lasts isn't about making something permanent, because nothing is permanent. Restaurants close, buildings get sold, menus change, awards will collect dust. Legacy is what remains after the tangible things are gone. Building something that lasts means creating an impact that continues through other people. It's the sous chef who becomes an executive chef because someone believed in him. It's the dishwasher who learned discipline and confidence. It's the manager who leads with empathy because that's what he was modeled for him. A business can disappear and still leave a legacy if the people it touch carries those lessons forward.
My goodness. Dude, that was well done.
Thank you.
It was so well done. John chose for this to be the outro because it was perfect. Mic drop moment.
All right.
My man, dude, you did stinking great today.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you and the 100+ other people who are going to show up at this party that RSVP'd on Monday. Going to be epic.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty dope, actually. How do people find you?
All right, you can find me on Instagram at Chef Elijah Rock, or our restaurant Instagram. It's Brix, BRIX_bistro.
What I'm going to do one of these days, I almost did it this week, but I was like, I didn't have the 2 hours round trip to get out to BFE where you are. So I'm going to come out and I'm going to do some shooting for you. I'm going to film in the restaurant and we're going to have a blast, okay?
All right, man. Sounds good.
Excellent. My man, we are out.